Let's take a look at how to convert a decimal into a percentage. So if we've got a decimal, we usually start, let's say we've got 0.45, and we want to change that into a percentage. All we do is multiply it by 100. So 0.45 to become a percentage, we multiply by 100, and that becomes 45%. Lots of ways of doing this. If you've got a calculator, just bung it straight in and you'll come up with the answer. Let's try a different one, 0.70 or 0.7. This time I'm just going to move the decimal place 2 spaces to the right. So to multiply by 100, I've got 0. I make it very light here, 7, I'll make the 7 bigger, I'll put the 0 in, and I'm going to move the 2 decimal places 2 spaces to the right. 1, 2. That's the new position there. So it's going to equal 70. We don't need the leading stuff anymore. So it's now 70%. Let's try a different one. What about 0.048? 0.48, we're going to move the decimal places. So multiply that by 100. So in other words, we're moving the decimal place 1, 2 spaces to the right. The new position is now between the 4 and the 8. So it's going to be 4.8%. Let's try a bit of a gnarly one. Let's go 0.0002. We multiply that by 100. We move the decimal place 2 spaces to the right. There it is there. So it's going to be a point there and a 0.02, point and 0.02, and we put a leading 0 at the front, and it's 0.02%. What about if I've got 452 and I wish to change that to a percentage? Again, I just multiply it by 100, but this time the decimal place is over this side. So I would rewrite that. So I've got 452. I'll put times 100 over here this time. Decimal place is here. And we're going to move again 2 spaces to the right. We're going to go 1, 2. So again, I'm going to put zeros as placeholders in those gaps. The decimal place is now here. And that's going to equal 45200%. That's 45,200%. What about 108.2? Change that to a percentage. Multiply by 100. Decimal is now moving 1, 2 spaces to the right. This new position will be here. I put a 0 in the space as a placeholder, and I've now got 10820. So I've got 10820%. And that's how we change a decimal into a percentage. Merely take the number as a decimal and multiply it by 100. And we end up with the number expressed as a percentage.